And also, I don't manipulate the landscape. I don't like... Photoshop is a temptation, but I don't want to use it any more than I need to on the digital camera to refine the raw and get more the reality out of raw, because it's fairly flat as an image, and then just get it back to what is the film quality. I have, when I fly, a film camera and a digital camera, and I take a little bit of both if I can, because I still find that film, especially the large formats, 120, I have a 6x9 film camera, 6x9 centimeter, which is still slightly superior to the digital that I have, which is a Canon 5D. Now the large picture there and the large picture in the front, they're all film pictures. And they are taken with the 6x9. Then I use the Pentax 670. I feel if you want to blow up, that 35mm is okay, and there probably are about 10 or 20 pictures taken on 35mm. The larger format is just has that little bit of extra quality. Also, you depend on the technique that is available, the various film processing and printing firms that are available. So with the digital printing, this is there are several ways. There's Lander and then there is the digital. These are digitally printed on it's the ultra chrome inks that are being used with Hannemuller paper or other papers that are of high quality. They guarantee them for about 70 years. I don't know how they do it, but anyway, they say that's what it lasts. So then with the right condition, and these also have UV film protection and national film in front of it, which helps to extend it further. I'm quite pleased also that with this exhibition, there is some, with the next exhibition next door, the Aboriginals, I find that there are some very interesting comparisons because I think I did a couple of things in the early days with Mary Maha, who ran the traditional Aboriginal art. She was collecting for McAlpine in those days, and she asked me if I wanted to photograph, which I did, some of the Aboriginal people in Kimberley, Bulga Hills, Bluma, and Columbaroo, and various others. And I found, particularly in Bulga Hills, they showed me these large carved stone tablets. And they said, this is our land, and these are our waterholes, and we can't show them to the women. I don't know why, but anyway. And then we can't show them to foreign people, to anybody, any other tribal people, because they wouldn't exactly know where our waterholes are, and what this is and that is. And sort of talking to them, I find that what the Aboriginals did was translating their horizontal experience by walking through the bush and through the desert, giving a vertical appreciation of their experience. And they didn't know distance, they didn't know a kilometer or 2 kilometers or whatever it was, but they know time and they know features in the landscape. And that's what was so interesting to see on the maps. They say, this certainly means a lot to us because we know exactly where the water holes are and all that, And that was an interesting experience. And I think that over many, many years that they, particularly in the western deserts, west of Alice Springs, that the Papuanya people would have been affected by the landscape. The way the dots come out of the landscape, and I think if you live there long enough, it is ingrained, you grow up with it. And I think it has a lot to do with it. And there is some similarity with some of the photographs just around the corner of the end clearings and the repetition of the bush. I have a great deal of admiration for something that can stay like desert for so long, develop for so long over such a long period of time, and establishing that pattern, that growth, on the strength of the amount of rainfall, the amount of fertility in the soil, versus the temperature, versus that creates this, and it's been there for thousands and thousands of years, and it's really, when I fly over it, it sort of speaks to you. You know, you look at it, and particularly from the air, you've got the luxury that you can see it from so many good angles. But I find it quite impressive. The Great Sandy Desert, the Straslaki, Victoria, Simpson, all those deserts have their own peculiarities, their own character, which is really only visible from the air, really, to get a good overview of that. And I think that is really very impressive. Now, just have a look. As you can see, also have some man-made landscapes. They are moments probably in times where the natural landscape is, some of them have been there for millions of years. Some of the man-made landscapes are no less intriguing because there are seasonal variations. They were there yesterday and they won't be there next year or tomorrow, or they weren't there last year. So I'm interested in the form of whatever happens in the landscape. Salt lakes are particularly good in shaping and creating form. And if you consider that if you look along the length of salt lake, that is nice and flat and all that, it's only from the air that you really start to appreciate the forms that have taken place and the evolution. It's the wind and water that shapes that landscape, and that's really very, very beautiful, and they're all different. In Western Australia, we probably have more salt lakes than anywhere else in Australia, apart from Lake Eyre. I think it's partly due to the revolution of the Earth, and we're getting the east-west winds produce, sorry, the west-east winds produce the fallout of water over Western Australia. That's why, you know, it takes 5 hours to fly from Sydney to Perth, but only 4 hours to go back. We always have these prevailing winds, and that's why I think we have more salt in our land, and we are more susceptible to the problems as well. But the man-made landscapes are